they're charities on paper, but the amount that the charity actually gives to the cause is is a lot of times really, really small. How do I?
How do I raise funds on patreon.com/wise_underscore nerdy? We really
Speaking of
confuse the
that,
pledges.
the how do I is how do I determine which causes to support?
Oh yeah, that's right. It is, isn't it?
um, so before we went live, so if you go and listen to the Patreon version, Charles and I were talking a lot about um, different charities and people's different tendencies when it comes to different charities, and trying to choose which causes, not just charities, but causes in general, to support. Because there's definitely a lot of causes or a lot of charities that they're charities on paper, but the amount that the charity actually gives to the cause is is a lot of times really, really small, because there's so much overhead they're paying out to their own people that what they actually give is tiny. And so you can actually look up what percentage of what they bring in actually goes to the cause and how much of
Yeah.
it is going to overhead, which I think is a wonderful way to start off with that conversation of, if it's something that you feel like you want to support, check in on how much is going to overhead and how much is actually going to the cause. And that's why I appreciate, I mean, I'm a little biased on this, but I donate a fair bit to my church, because I know that nearly 100%, if not one, I think it's almost always 100% of the different charities go directly to the cause. That the church eats the overhead. And so, like for instance, in the winter, they will have these vending machines that you can go to, and you can buy like a goat for an impoverished family in a third world country. They'll deliver a goat or chickens or different things to
Except
less.
when the spiral gets stuck and the goat kind of gets in between the glass and the shelf and it can't come down to the spot to get it out. That's always a mess.
I mean, you just get a card, but yes, the actual vending machine vends a card
Yeah, yeah.
symbolizing what you're paying for. But yeah, they set up these giving machines in various locations and things like that. And so yeah, definitely looking into the amount of overhead is a great way to go about it. What are some tips that you've got, Charles?
Um, I always go with my gut, man. If I try to invest in things that I believe in, both in charity and stocks and people, and things that I use, that kind of thing, things I understand. Um, and it just depends on how it came about. And the reason we got into it was I was talking about being at an EMS conference here this week. And the short version is one EMS is I always lead with one EMS is a 501c3 charity. So they understand this is not just a selling thing or a show thing or whatever, that we're bringing programs to kids through elementary, middle school, and high school. And we're trying to provide scholarships for adults. And, if you got some more time, I'll tell you more. But also, we have this fundraiser coming up, blah, blah, blah. You can change the future of EMS and help get people interested in understanding who we are. Just a $30 donation. And everybody's like, oh my God, it's so amazing, so amazing, so amazing. That's awesome. And they just walk away. And for me, if I truly believe in something, especially at a conference like that where it's mostly selling, and somebody the Gideons were there. Okay. I honestly still don't know a ton about the Gideon mission, even though one of my best friends is a Gideon. But I know it's church related, and I know the adage was they were the hotel Bible people. But I think there are more than that. But whatever, it's a fine organization. Nothing in my life aligns with what they're doing for the most part. So I nod and I shake my head and give them the time of day, and I move on because it didn't align with me. But if I'm somewhere and it's like, oh, Oh, you wanna help people listen to podcasts more? You're providing you're providing podcast education to kids and getting them interested in not just, "Oh, I'm being a streamer," but actually skills of communication, and you're bettering their life. $30 right now, done. Because especially at a conference like that, where I'm not, I got funding to cover the hotel rooms. The hotel rooms are 100, if not the up to $300 a night. All the dinners, because it's on an island, Jekyll Island, and all everything's more expensive. Everything, it's travel. So you're spending all that, and you're gonna go buy 100, $150 worth of alcohol tonight because you and your friends are gonna drink, and that's how these conferences go. $30, man. And I don't
Yep.
get it. That was kinda where we came with the how do I. It's if I believe in you, I guess I should say, I guess that's really what it is. So I believe in what you're doing, and you somehow managed to make yourself matter to me, even in the small connection, by all means, here's something to help your cause.
Yeah. Well, and then you go to like the grocery store and stuff, and they're like, round up to donate to kids or whatever. And from what I've heard, and I'd have to do some more research to confirm this, but allegedly, what ends up happening is that just creates a tax break for the grocery store because you
Oh,
give
yeah.
them the money, but then they get the credit for actually
Any donation,
donating it.
yeah. Mhm.
And
Well
so
well, depend being vague, right? We're not gonna dive into specifics without unless you know a specific story.
yeah.
To my knowledge, the major chains, like where I see is like a Kroger or a Publix, something that has they would take a huge, massive hit in income if they were just taking the money and not actually giving it to, in my case, it's like Children's Miracle Network or St. Jude's. And those,
No, no, no.
especially St. Jude's being, I mean, one of them being here in Atlanta. It's as long I don't care about the tax break. If I'm giving you 18 cents, what kind of a tax break am I going to get on the roundup? But that 18
Yeah.
cents adds into where they'll get thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, hopefully, donated. But
Yeah.
yes, it absolutely gives them a break, I
Yep.
believe.
But then there's always Dragon Con. Like I like to look at overhead, but also places that will match. I in general, I tend to give them more leeway as well. So like Dragon Con matches to a certain amount of what everyone else donates. And so organizations that do that, at least at a gut feel a lot better to me than especially like the one we were just talking about, the grocery stores that are like round up for this. Um Mithra Beata has a question here. Do you have buzzwords to look for when researching a charity? Hmm, that is a good question.
Good
Uh,
question, Johnny.
do you, you've got a lot more experience, especially on the medical side of charities. Are there any buzzwords specifically that you look for, either to say, oh no, that doesn't pass the sniff test, or stuff that you specifically look for that you're like, oh, I need to look into that a bit more. That's maybe.
No, I'm the opposite. I look for truth or what resonates as truth. I've been in honestly, my entire life has been building a BS meter. I've heard all the words. I can tell when you're not sharing any facts. You're not. Let's go to BC Dodge, right? Carl Dodge.
Okay.
He has worked for two different Islamic charities, and I've actually supported both of them off and on at different times. And it was mostly because he lent credibility to it and he believed in their mission, and he could explain it to me in a way that he was being true. That's what I look for, is that you know the same way I feel like I try to explain one EMS. It might not resonate with you. It might not get Joe to get off the couch and give me $30 right now because he has it. I mean, look at his house. I mean, look, you cannot have Arcanine behind you and not have $30 in your pocket at all times. I'm just saying. Uh,
I didn't buy that Arcanine.
Yeah, that's what you say. No, I did. It's good. It's good. See, I give. Joe doesn't. That's why I'm the host. All right. So no, back to track. What was it? Busy Dodge. So, but then it wasn't just because he believed. I because of him and working with him, I was seeing more of what they were doing, and I believe in giving into the world, giving into the universe, giving into whatever. I like a flow of money, and it's not just profit and loss. I like to be able to make a difference in people by doing things or giving things. And I supported for a time both of those charities. I stopped supporting because I felt disconnected. Now he was still there, he still believed in the mission, but my life changed. So I said, okay, I'm out. No offense. It was never anything negative. It was just no buzzwords. I just felt like my giving needed to move somewhere in a different direction. I also like to make sure I'm trying to affect directly those around me as much as I'm affecting global anything, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah.
So let's even bring it home. You're walking past a homeless person. When do you decide to give or not give?
That is a great question. But when I do give to the homeless, I try to give. I don't give straight money, to be completely honest.
Oh,
Um,
go on, Joe. Do you
I've
give the gay money? I'm proud of
it's a
you. Go,
drive-by
girl.
fruiting. Uh, no, but like I've heard a lot of people that will carry around gift cards for a restaurant or something like that, and give that to the homeless instead of giving cash or things like that. Um, but yeah, but as far as if we go back to the buzzwords, I really dislike when charities say donate to us or donate to the organizations, but like the way they phrase it rather than donate to help and then list what their cause is. It's it's a small difference, but in my opinion it's a very poignant difference.
Sure.
um and it might be an innocent lapse of phrasing, but to me it points to the mentality of the charity in and of itself, that if they're phrasing it give to us, give to me. um but yeah.
Yeah, I think it's all about how they approach you and this and that and the other, but and something you said. Oh, giving is all about me when I give. I think it's all about the me of you listening. It's all about
Yep.
Joe. It's all about random kid. As and with the homeless people, sometimes it's the vibe they give me. Sometimes it's where my headspace is. Sometimes I truly don't have money. I would caution being careful with gift cards because at least in Atlanta, and that's where I deal with it. It's where I have friends who deal with it. My friend Joe Swilly, he lives downtown, so he shares different stories of those kind of encounters. And he'll even go, "Hey, man, I'm coming here to get something to eat," and he'll walk them in with them. And immediately the restaurant like, "No, they can't be here." He's like, "No, no, no. This person's with me. I'm buying them food. Like, they can." And maybe because that person, maybe homeless people just in general made a mess. Maybe that specific homeless
Mm,
person. So here, this is coming from me and my background. Take it with a grain of salt. But me growing up in the Baptist church, they would rather pray for somebody than give 'em money. And there was always an attitude and a tone of almost like they chose homelessness and they could go get a job. And as an adult now, how I see the world now, I go, why do I care what they do with this? They're just going to take that money and get alcohol. Okay, why do I care? I don't know their life. I don't know what put them here. I do know where they're at is a whole lot harder to get where they need to be than where I'm at right now, trying to get where I need to be. And if I'm going to give, my grandfather taught me this: you give with no expectation. You never lend money, especially to friends. You just give money with no expectation. And he the lesson was about lending and borrowing and stuff, but I took that to heart wholly of here's 20 bucks. You want to go get heroin? I don't say this, like you want to go get heroin and relieve the pain of life for 5 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever, however long it's lasting, maybe overdose. I hope not. I hope maybe you put some food in your belly, but is $20 gonna get them out of the gutter and back into a home? No. No, it's not. So I try to get over myself and just give when I feel like I have it and the time is right, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the idea of gift cards, but
Well,
also they might not be able to use them, but who knows?
and charity doesn't always have to be money.
It's true.
You can donate time, you can donate other things like that. So like last week, for instance, um, I was picking up my
I love that.
boys from a church activity, and we were driving home, and I saw this older lady walking down the street, and she was carrying some big bags, and I had no idea where she was going, but I thought to myself, I was like, what would Papa NASCAR do? And he provided that example, and I turned around, I drove over, and um, I said, hey, do you need a ride somewhere? Can I provide you a ride to wherever you need to go? And she said no, and she was like, are you a businessman? I'm not. And she
Oh.
she was like, I'm trying to sell the stuff that I've got with me. I'm like,
Not where I
uh
thought you were going, but alright.
no, 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 no. And
I'm not saying you were going there at all. No inference that Joe had anything wrong to do in this story, okay?
I was like, no, I'm not a businessman, but I saw you walking. It's late at night. I thought I'd see if you needed any assistance getting to where you're going. She's like, no, I don't. I was like, all right, well, have a good night. And so ultimately, she didn't take me up on it. And I had a conversation with my boys afterwards. I was like, most of the time, you probably don't want to be picking up hitchhikers, but I felt good about this situation. She didn't seem to be a dangerous at all, and so I wanted to offer some help, and so that's what we did. And I said, but you need to use judgment in cases like that, because there are a lot of crazy people out there, and if you put them in a vehicle with you, you never know what will happen. And so um using a measure of prudence is always good when you are physically putting yourself out there to do
Yeah,
service like that as well.
yeah, I also look at the scenario we're in, gas station, somebody, "Hey, man, I'm out of gas, I need some help." It's like, I watched you over there saying that, there's, you know, I it just there if you listen to human beings long enough, there is an inherent instinctual way to tell when somebody's being genuine. And I'm so sorry. I really could use some help. Anything? Could you put some gas in this can for me? My family's down here. Whatever. There's a genuineness to it. I mean, right now I'm not being genuine. You can probably tell, but then there's a vibe that you get,
Yep.
and sometimes you know what? At the end of the day, does it matter? No. If you gave somebody $5, okay, they got you, they used it wrong, they scammed you, whatever, it's gone. At the end of the day, I don't care. Taco Bell, you know I love Taco Bell. And this is a good legitimate way, yeah, thumbs up, camera. This is a good legitimate way to bring it up of when you roll through their drive-through, if their person is doing correctly, they'll go, "Will you like to round up for, college tuition?" Because they have a program that puts their employees through college. And I almost always say yes. And if someone were to come to me like, they're on the 10% list, which is a bad list. The 10% list is 90% goes to your pocket and only
Yep.
10% goes to the cause. At the same time, I'm like, oh, dang. When I ordered that $20 worth of Taco Bell for me, don't judge me, I'm hungry, and they got me for 18 cents. Oh, over time, that adds up. Sure, okay. Over 20 years of being a fat fool eating Taco Bell for thousands of dollars, they may have gotten me for $100. Oh, I just trying to think about those realities. And yeah, I still say at the end of the day, how you decide to to support a cause, go, a Patreon perhaps, likewise, underscore and 30, and how you go and see that we've gone to monthly, so I could really use you bumping that up, baby. How you decide to do that is really about you in the long run, and here's the deal, it does not matter in the moment and hopefully ultimately to your life what they did with the money. What matters is when you did good, good happened inside of you, and that cannot be taken away by whatever they did with the money.
Yeah, whether it be karma, blessings from God, whatever.
Yep.
There's whatever your belief system is. You put good out in the world, good will come back.
Yes, and once you know something, I was a huge Kevin Spacey fan, and then bad things came out about Kevin Spacey. Okay, once I know it,
See, that's why I avoid learning about celebrities.
oh, no, that one you needed to learn. The world needed to learn that. That man did some bad things. I know you're being funny, but that one I can't joke about. That dude did some bad. He's not one I can separate the craft from the actor, right? And also, it didn't take away how I had enjoyed not knowing and seeing his performances, but knowing who he is now. The world canceled him, and there wasn't anything else for me to watch. But I was like, "Okay, now I know I can't watch something with you in it, enjoying it because I know there's a badness behind it." I'm not gonna name some charities, but there's some charities like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." Now learn the lack of good that they did in the world.
Yep.
Mm, I can't.
Yeah, there's it's sad, but there are a lot of charities that just line the pockets of the people at the top, and very little, if any, goes to
Yeah.
the actual cause.
And what I really love to do is be the best version of the rich people charity. Rich people charity is people just kind of get together and swap money to make themselves feel good, right?
Yep.
And maybe it actually does an endowment to an art thing or museum and it helps something out. But really it's just look at me and how special I am. But they don't care about the money because they don't need it. I wanna be the opposite of that. I wanna have a very minimal staff for one EMS. I wanna make it a very efficient, and I want as best I can I wanna make my money everywhere else, like patreon.com/wise_nerdy. But I wanna make my money everywhere else than one EMS because I don't wanna be the Georgia lottery. This was years and years and years ago, and when I found out the Georgia lottery is basically a charity. It's a non-taxable entity. Now, the word charity is used loosely for all the 501s and all the different codes, but there are different statuses and codes. That doesn't mean you're a charity, but you're also a non-taxable entity. The Georgia, well, it's the Georgia Lottery Commission, which does the Powerball, Mega Ball, like a lot of the United States does. It's a big whatever. But they're the commission for the state. Not only were they a charity, they paid their CEO like $1 million a year to run that organization, and then gave a bonus of like 1.5 million to her. At the same time, they were saying they're going to have to cut back scholarships because the Hope Scholarship was directly from the charity in Georgia, and they were going to have to cut back because of funds and whatever. I was like,
Hmm.
I mean, you can say what you say about the lottery. I can say what I've used the Hope Scholarship twice, and it got me to be paramedic. It enabled me to learn everything I learned about medicine, and it did its job. But dang, I don't want to. Man, Joe, you got me with that explicit tag last week. I'm really watching my stuff this week, but I can't. I will never intentionally and knowingly be a service to humanity, as in one EMS, knowing that I'm really. But my salary is $1 million a year from that. No, I'm pissed off now that I used a couple $100 out of the charity funds, which I actually put 1,500 of my own money in. So I'm really just spending my own money, but it still pisses me off that I used $300 to $400 on that trip this week to cover my gas and food when it could be going to what I need it to be going to and where it could be going to do my mission. That's how I want to be. So little sidebar there, but it got us somewhere.
So what you're saying is people can go and donate to one EMS.
You can actually. You know what? Thank you, Joe. I'll pimp that out right now because I should talk about that more. I'm having a blackjack game coming up. It is online only. It is not gambling. Now there might be surprises to win, but it really is just like any other charity thing. It's a $30 donation to the charity. Some of that will go to overhead that I cannot control, but I will get a good part of that right into my charity. And I will be dealing the blackjack if this game happens. We have to do so many tickets for it to actually happen with Jimmy Gunn, who is the drummer for Brooks and Dunn. And you know me, I'm a great interviewer. And I already know we've had many talks. So I'm going to be pulling out the stories of the road. It's going to be a great time. And you're at home, and you're at home on your device. It's a cool app. And I think it's called you go to the site, it's there because I'm thinking of a whole different app right now. It's not the right thing I will tell you, but it's an app and it's live video, and you'll see me there. And when the physical card comes out, you'll see it on your screen, and you're playing blackjack and having a good time and supporting a good cause. And possibly, we're still working on it. You possibly might win something fun if you win things. But yeah, if you go to oneems.com, you will see the Give Butter. I love that's one I chose to
Give
support
butter.
that. Yeah, like butter, like you put on bread. Give Butter, and you can just donate. And quite honestly, every last bit will go to me giving stuff to schools and like EMT schools and providing gear, providing scholarships. And I'm building a program right now with Rockdale County High School to do elementary and middle school education and really get them aware of what we're doing. So yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.